What's up, everybody? I am the community manager for Maximum Football, Luke, and I'm joined today by Maximum Football Game Director Micah. How you doing, Micah?
Hello, pretty good.
Cool. We're back for another video, and today we're going to be talking about customization. Maximum Football is all about building your ultimate football universe, and all of the tools to do that are built within the game. So, as I'm jumping into this, Micah, I wanted to talk first. Like, this is a pillar of what Maximum Football is all about, customization. So, when the team sat down and started to think, what do we want customization to look like in this game? What were some of the goals that the team had in mind building these tools out?
So the goal was to basically give the user the ability to make any team that they wanted, any college team, any pro team, and that was, that's the main goal of all of it. Let you create yourself, create, um, any team from any show or anything that you've ever seen, any kind of team you want to make, your high school team. You can make a team full of your family members, whatever it is, doesn't matter. Give you full customization. So over the players, over the teams, the uniforms, and and over the league as well. I know we're just focusing on the players and the teams today, but once you get into Dynasty, there's a lot of team customization that you can do. We can probably talk about that some other time. But there's also a lot of customization coming down the road for the stadium and the field. We're just trying to hit customization from pretty much every angle.
Nice. Yeah, I know the team has lots of stuff on the roadmap too, and we'll talk a little bit about that. And we're definitely going to have an entire video to talk about the cool features in Dynasty to make that the universe that you want to make too. But yeah, I know we had this feature available for the Next Fest beta. There's been a few changes that have been made since then, and I know there's more changes that are on the team's radar. But I'll kind of walk through what I'm doing on the screen, and then anytime you want to just jump in, Micah, and give some additional insight into what's going on, feel free. So, this is the basic information for your team. The game does have custom uploads, so you're going to be able to upload your logos directly to the game from your computer, and you can select those logos to apply to your team. You can do the same with custom conference logos as well. Um, and Micah, I know that there's some plans for there to be like a community library of logos. Is that something the players can expect during early access, or is that a feature that's going to be coming later on in development?
Well, we're working on that right now, and it looks like it's going to be ready for early access. The only issue is moderation, just to make sure there's not a bunch of crazy stuff. So as long as we get all that nailed out, then we should be good for early access. But yeah, it is looking like a yes on the user generated content. Um, Sort of, it's not really a marketplace. It's just a place where you can go download things that other players have made. And so up in the top where you have your team logo, where you saw the custom logo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So any logo that you download offline, you would find it here in the custom logo section after you downloaded it.
Cool. So you don't have to be creative if you don't have that bone in your body. This logo that I just uploaded was totally made by AI, not myself. So we're going to be making the Richmond Wraiths. I did have a question. I know you're selecting team locations. I know weather is going to be a thing that's in the game in the future. Teams working on that stuff already. Is the state that your school's located in going to dictate anything when it comes to the kind of weather that your stadium will experience, like throughout a dynasty season?
Yes, it will. That was actually one of the things we tried to do. That was one of the things we set out to do, is have all these different sort of biomes or whatever for different areas of America. So we had the north. We created backgrounds to all the stadiums so that it looks like you have your stadium in the northeast or the northwest or the southeast or the southwest or middle America. So we created all these like backgrounds that match the different like biomes in America. And we haven't yet had the chance to hook those up and tie those to the states, um, the state that your team is at. But after launch, once we get another chance to do another update pass on Dynasty, then we'll start doing stuff like that.
That's a that's really cool because I know I do those like Stadium Saturday posts every week, and so I, get in the builder and I kind of like zoom out and I see all the detail that you guys have built out, kind of surrounding those stadiums as well. So that just as an idea, I think is phenomenal. Um,
Cool.
so yeah, we're here in the jersey editor, the uniform editor now, and the first thing that you're going to be met with is putting in your team colors. Um, I know that right now we have a few options. You can either use these sliders on the palette, you can enter a hex code, you can select from like a predetermined set of numbers. Um, is there any idea if there's going to be in the future like a color selector from your custom logo uploads that you'll be able to do?
We should. That'd be a good idea, because if you're going to try to match your logo in the background, it'd be easy to just select the. We don't have that right now, obviously,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, I think it's a good idea. It's something that we can add. There's a lot of stuff that we can add to customization. We just need to make sure that we're listening to the community, and when people start suggesting things. So if a lot of people jump into to this customization suite and they're like, oh, I just wish I could use a color picker, then we'll add it in. There's we have a lot of room to just listen to the community and add a lot of cool stuff in as they request it.
So as we're going through here, we're going to see all kinds of different customization options for fonts, patterns, materials, all kinds of things like that. Um, I know that the team has told us in the past, like if it's something that you're seeing on Saturdays and Sundays, it's something that we want to have in the game. Um, in terms of just like building out the options that are going to be available for players to have, kind of what's you guys' approach to selecting what's going to be added into like the next content drop?
Mostly we're just trying to round out what everybody expects to have. So looking at what pro players and college players are wearing, and then looking at what we have, and then saying what else can we add. There's also things like cleats. Like a single pair of cleats can take an artist an entire week to create, and then you start tweaking it a little bit from there. It can actually take longer than a week. So we have to basically look at how long it takes to build things, how many animators and artists we have, and then what the community is asking for. So right now we have a pretty large suite. You have a bunch of helmets, you have a bunch of cleats you can use, and gloves. I would like to have more cleats, of course. But right now we're kind of just waiting. We're not really waiting, but we have a bunch of things that we're working on. But we're also going to wait and see what are people using the most. What are they going to request the most? If everybody is trying to get more shoes, or if everybody wants more shoes, then we're going to start building more cleats. If everybody wants more helmets, then we'll start building more helmets. So we're kind of just approaching it that way. And we also have I look at a lot of things, and then the first round of customization options that we put in, we just tried to get kind of the coolest stuff, and then the most normal stuff, right? Just so you can make basic teams. And now we're just kind of going to have fun with it. We're going to add in a bunch of cool stuff, all the cool face masks, all the cool visors. The other designer on the team, Jason, one of the other designers, he was big into customization for the NCAA revamped.
Mm-hmm.
So he has tons of stuff that he's trying to get in. So, we're basically just going to, open it up and say, all right, Jason, what do you want to add in? And then start building it.
So I love that kind of the sky's the limit in terms of all the different options that you have. So you've got some things that are like universal, things that will change across your entire team, and then there are other things that are that will apply to individual players, right? Like you can select a different helmet for all of the different players that are on your team, whereas like the color of the helmet obviously is something that's going to be universally applied. But I also love that basically in everything, like I think there's like 13 14 different parts of a helmet that can be customized, that every
Mm-hmm.
single one of those things you can apply a different finish, so no two teams have to look even remotely close to one another, because there's just so many options. And I noticed as well, we'll look at this when we get to the jerseys, that we've also added some material effects to different aspects of the patterns on the jerseys, right? Something else that wasn't available during Next Fest.
Yeah, yeah. You can jump over there. We can show some of them.
Yeah. So
And then yeah, there you go. Satin, matte, glossy. Yeah, so these are new ones. It looks really cool. Like you can also change the numbers. So if you can do a lot of cool stuff with. Oh, sorry.
no, you're good.
If you customize the numbers, like the inner color and then the outline color,
Hmm.
you don't have to do it. You can do it right now if you want to, but there's a lot of cool stuff you can do with it to make a lot of cool, like a lot of cool looks with the jersey.
Yeah,
Yeah,
tons of.
I like messing around with all the fonts. The font actually changes the jersey quite a bit. It's cool. Like
Mhm.
it makes it look substantially different.
Yeah, because I always use this like dagger square if I'm trying to make
Hmm.
like a modern style team, whereas like some of these serif fonts are a lot more like classic old school.
Hmm.
But yeah, I love all the different materials, the customization that you have there, and then how the lighting effects in the game apply to that too. People probably noticed like on the Roswell jerseys in the Next Fest beta, the glistening stripes on their shoulder pads and on the pan as well.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, you can make any team you want. You can make whatever you want to make. That was the main goal. And I think we've pretty much I think we've hit that. We've hit the basic level of that where you can make any team that you want. There's a lot of helmets patterns that we're still going to have to add in. Um, and there's a lot of so the helmets are going to get a lot of work after early access. One of the things we want to do, one of the big updates we want to do is make it to where any pattern on the helmet can be stretched or shrunk, or the pattern can be duplicated. You can stretch it over the entire helmet. So if you want to do like a cool ram sort of logo on the side of the helmet, it can stretch across the entire side of the helmet. So there's a lot of cool stuff that we're going to be added in for the helmet.
So yeah, let's head back over here to the helmet because yeah, you can do your logo placements. You can also put numbers. You can remove the logo
Hmm.
entirely. But yeah, it'll be cool once you're able to kind of place and make it however you want. One thing I did want to point out that I've kind of been hiding every time we jump into customization on stream, we've added mouth guards to the game. Um,
Yes.
so I know this is a feature that has been long requested by the community. So that, yeah, lots of um, cool options here for your mouth guards.
Yeah, we have a lot of cool ones. What we don't have right now are just normal ones, right? Like a normal red one, or like a normal black one, or whatever. So we still have to add in the normal ones, but that shouldn't be too hard.
I know another thing that people have been asking about are mouth guards that hang down from the face mask. Is that something that the team's looking to add at some point?
Yeah, that's on the list, but it's not going to be at early access, and I'm not sure if it's going to be, um, at console launch. It might be. Basically, it would be the same sort of thing as the towel on the hip,
Hmm.
but it'd be on the face mask dangling.
All right.
And then I don't know if that would need any sort of gameplay, like during half times, do all the players need to have it dangling, and then during the play they put it in, and I probably wouldn't mess with all that,
Hmm.
um, but yeah.
So one thing that I think is really unique about the jersey designer, especially well, the jersey, the pant, and the helmet designer, is the kind of pattern layers here, right? Because while we've got 26 options for patterns, you've got 3 slots for different patterns that you can use, and then they layer based off of the slot that they occupy. So yeah, a tremendous amount of options when it comes to how you layer these to make them look totally different. So for example, like we can put this stripe down and then we can overlay like one of these stripes in a white, and as you can see, it'll cover the pattern that's underneath it. But if we were to switch that and do that pattern on top, which we hold on, I need to do that pattern on top, changes the entire look of the
Yeah.
uniform as well. So, are we going to be adding more patterns and stuff as well?
Yeah, we will. And you can also change if you go to the color, you can change it to like shiny or satin. Cool, yeah. And that's when it really starts to look cool, I think. Um, yeah, the patterns are actually not. We can actually get a ton of those in. Um, so we're probably going to do a whole suite of new patterns for the pants and the jerseys, and helmets and shirts, everything. Just a whole bunch of new patterns because we can probably we can probably get a bunch of those into the game pretty way quicker than we can do like cleats. Like anything that's an actual model, like a cleat or a glove or a helmet, like a new pair of pants, a new jersey. Those things are the ones that take a lot of time to create. But when it comes to patterns are much easier to create, so we can knock out a bunch of those.
Yeah,
But what we do,
I'll
oh
go
sorry,
ahead. Go ahead.
one thing that we need to do with the patterns, and this is something that Jason really wants to do, is if you look at the pattern on the side of the pants, right now they don't match the stitching of the pants. So one of the things that we're going to want to do after early access or after console launch is to actually get all the patterns to have a stitching look on their edges.
Another thing, I'm not sure if this was available in the Next Fest beta, but there's also patterns that you can apply to like sleeves, the socks, the towels, and things like that as well. And these
Yeah.
are individual to the players as well, correct?
Yeah, correct. And we're gonna fix that towel so it's not going through his hand like that. uh, we gotta add a little bit of like a little better physics to that, so it's not just like poking out through his arm. But yeah, we're gonna fix that. But yes, you can style the towel however you want. We have a lot of different patterns for it, and you can do that per player. Yeah.
Then we just have a very basic kind of custom stadium where you can just select one of the, I think we've got like 30 stadiums that are going to be in the game or something like that. So, and then this will apply your logo and your team colors to the field as well. But the team's working on a stadium builder too as well, right?
Yeah, so the beginning of the stadium builder is you should go back into the stadium there. You should be able to select a stadium. Yeah, there you go. So you can change it to day, night, rain, snow. I can't wait till we show some of the rain and snow stuff.
I know, seriously. Cool. I was looking at it. I was like, it looks awesome.
It does. It's so cool. Yeah, with thick snow. But yeah. So you can. What's the top one? The grass color. So you can change the grass color to any one of those things. Inevitably, eventually we'll have a full color picker for the grass colors.
Mm-hmm.
But the seat colors, you can change the seat colors and the additional colors. But then you got the field stripes down below, so you can change those too. You can make some pretty wacky fields. But this will eventually turn into the full stadium designer, where you can add stadium sections and box seats and better lights, and you can change the logos on the field. Each logo, you can position it how you want, stretch it, shrink it. You can basically just do everything with your field.
This is all inside the game. I want to remind people that are watching, like, you don't have to go somewhere separate and build this out and upload it into the game. This is all inside the game for console players. This will be built into the game. And I think that's a game changer for a lot of people, right? Because I want to be able to just sit down, power up the game, and do everything that I want to right there from, my couch or wherever it is that I'm gaming from.
Yep. Yeah, I've never really used like other games. They have websites you can go to like build your team and customize your players. I played those games for years and never went to the website to build. It's just it's got to be in the game for me.
Yeah, and I remember old school football games. It was built in, right? And,
yeah.
I would build out like whole leagues of teams, and there's 130 custom slots in Maximum Football. So, if you're creative and want to replace every single team when you go to start a dynasty, you will have the ability to do that. But I do want to jump real quick into the player customizer, because I think this is another big piece of customization you were mentioning. You can create a team of, a bunch, like a fantasy team of from some piece of media, or put all your family members in on a team. And so you can customize just about every single aspect of your players. So if we jump in here, you'll see we've got, all the basic options here that you'll be able to update. You can do head, hair. Then we've got face paints that you can apply to your players as well. The tattoo system is something that's new as well, correct?
Yep. And we'll add a bunch of new patterns for the tattoos, or a bunch of new tattoos. But yeah, if you take off you don't have to do it right now, but yeah, do the one on the leg. Very cool. We have some cool tattoos, man. You can get this guy nice and tatted up, and it's individual per player, so you can put different tattoos on all your different players, and it ends up looking pretty awesome.
same thing here with your helmets, visors, mouth guards, all those things that we were looking at in the uniform designer. You're going to be able to come in here and change that for each of your players. And not only are you going to be able to change them, change the way that they appear, you can also change their ratings. So every single rating here can be adjusted and tweaked to make the team that you want to be able to make.
Yep. Yeah, you can customize everything about every player, change their name. So, I can, we don't have a ton of heads and a ton of hairs, different hairstyle. We have a good amount. And this is actually way better than it used to be. The head and hair selection used to be pretty hilarious. So this is phenomenally better than what we had about 6 months ago. So, I think it's cool. Obviously, we want to have a much more in-depth player creator where you can like move the cheekbones and make the nose bigger, smaller, move the eyebrows up, change, basically make whatever face you want to make. But we decided that for the initial release, most of the time the player's head is covered by the helmet, unless they're on the sidelines or unless it's some pre-game cinematic or something. But most of the time the player's head is covered by a helmet. So we chose not to really focus too much during the initial launch on the head and the hair. We'll jump back into that pretty heavily after we launch the game.
Cool. So, this is just kind of a quick overview of a lot of the different tools that are in the game. So, looking ahead, Micah, at some of what's coming up next for customization as we get into early access in November, what are some of those like immediate items for the team that they want to be working on that you want to see in the game?
The immediate items right now is just to make sure that when you play online, that you see all of your players' customization, all your team customization, and if you're playing against somebody else online, you see all of their customization and you see it all accurately. So all of their logos, all of their different tattoos, anything they purchased, whatever, you see it perfectly. The client, the host, everybody sees each other's stuff. And beyond that, it's just making sure that everything is working correctly, making sure all the patterns show up correctly, the mouthpieces, and all of that's fun stuff. So, right now we're basically in polishing mode, since we don't have long until we go into early access. So a lot of what we're doing right now is we're not trying to add a bunch of things into the game right now. We're trying to polish everything we have, make the experience smoother, and just make it all more enjoyable. So, for right now, the customization that you see, that's what's going to go into early access. And then once we get to early access, then we start a whole new round of just adding tons of new customization, tons of new models for different assets, new patterns, and a bunch of other stuff. So yeah, our media goal right now is just polish.
Awesome. And as you can see, how these how the uniforms show up in game. We got to see a scan over the field as well. So you're really bringing these teams to life, and I'm honestly, as the community manager, it's honestly the thing I'm most excited about with the game is seeing what universes people are going to build, what teams they're going to make, what players they're going to create, and just how they're going to make this game their own. So yeah, customization is a huge part of Maximum Football. It's going to be a huge part as we move through the life of this game, and I'm excited to see all the different things that we're going to be changing. So Micah, I appreciate you joining me today. And if you all want to play Maximum Football, it's coming to Steam Early Access on November 7th. And then it's coming to console at a later date. But yeah, Micah, thanks so much for your time, and excited to see what's coming next.
Cool, man. Yeah, thank you for having me.